Yeah, and you really save the money because you can work it. Work it.
Work it, girl. Hi, I'm Siobhan.
I'm Gwen.
Hi, I'm Charmaine.
Hi, I'm Leah, and this is ZULA ChickChats. So today we're going to be talking about the education system in Singapore and whether people choose to work first or study first. For you guys, where did you graduate from?
Temasek Poly, Diploma in Marketing.
Because I'm from Temasek Poly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, from retail management.
I was from Republic Polytechnic, studying supply chain management, and now I'm taking my part-time degree in SUS.
For me, I graduated from NUS Business. For those who graduated in Diploma, do you plan to work or continue your studies?
So after graduating, I took a gap year and worked in business development. So it's like totally off. That's not what I really like. And then I decided to study degree in marketing. So why I decided to take a degree is because it's like a safety net, you know. Because like everybody in Singapore, most of the people in Singapore has a degree. It's like a norm now.
After taking a diploma, I felt like I should go and take a degree. If I were to take a degree, right, it's confirmed something that I don't like, which is marketing. I wanted to take, sorry.
Yeah, also marketing.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
3 of us.
Sorry. I continued working at my poly internship company. I came into Book for planning to stay for another year.
For me, right, I'm the opposite of Gwen because if I were to take my degree in marketing, right, I confirm pretty much ace it. I specialize in marketing alone. GC students who don't have any foundation in poly will have to like start from scratch. So basically you have an age and you can skip 1 year to do it. So I probably can get a degree maybe like in less than a year. But I think I put that on hold because it also depends on the field. Like I feel like for marketing for business, right, it's something that you don't need a degree to really be very business savvy.
What do you think are actually the pros and cons of just going to work after getting a diploma or like actually choosing to go and study?
You know, like how in poly you graduate with your same batch of people,
Yeah.
and after most of them, the majority of them go to uni, right?
Yeah.
And then subsequently you feel very left out. My whole batch just graduated with a degree.
Oh,
And I'm
okay.
still like, hey, I only got diploma cert, and they can start working with a full-time salary pay. But for me, like some of them got say like, oh, you're still with an intern pay, or like you're still with a part-time pay and all. So yeah, I think that's the con. And when it comes to pros, right, I feel like as compared to them, right, I have more working experience. I have a longer time to decide what I want to do in future. Before I applied to here, right, it's like my parents were very against it. But then they see me like working so hard, right? Then it's like, wow, never see our girl like that before. Then because I used the gap year to work, my parents were okay with it. They just like say, you want to take mass comm for uni? I was super happy. Then I was like, yeah, of course I want. Then they said they'll pay for me. If I immediately went to take a degree before that, like 2 years back, I don't think I would have like enjoyed or like really experienced what I really want.
Most of the time, people take a degree because they don't know what they want to do in the future. They just continue taking the same degree that they took as a diploma. If you work first, at least you know what you don't like, at least you know what you like, and then when you grow older, you're more sure what kind of degree you want to take. Cons is that honestly it's very okay, you start with a lower pay if you have just a diploma cert, and of course it's actually pretty hard to find a job. I have to say, you are competing with people who get degrees.
Well, another pro I feel also is that you all say you got a lot of working experience outside. In the uni itself, on the process of getting a degree, you get a lot of opportunities because they have a lot of like platforms for you to meet a lot of people, like influential people, and also experience and go through a lot of faculties and industries. A lot of people say work experience kind of triumphs over your degree, your cert. But are there any other factors that contribute to you getting a job? Does having a degree really give you an edge over someone with a diploma?
It depends on the industry.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you want to go to the government sector, get a degree.
Is it true?
I know someone, right? She's working in the government sector.
Yeah.
So she's at a certain rank, right? Then she just needs to go to the next rank. The pay and the bonus will increase by like significantly. So she went to the HR asking like, you know, why can't I go a rank higher? The HR very straightforward. It just say like, because you don't have a degree. I think in the private sector though, it depends on the company and the boss. Some are like traditional, they really will see if you're a degree holder, some won't.
In the job market, it's changing a bit. A lot of people now look at skills. Skills is the key factor when you go and apply for an interview. I've seen so many times that, okay, like people apply and then I look through their resumes, that kind of thing, right? I will not hire someone who has a degree over someone who has the skills for this job, example like videography.
I had this lecturer in TP and he told me that it is not just about experience then you get a job. It's about relevant working experience. Which particular job you're applying for, what kind of skills they require, then you're supposed to kind of fit the bill. For example, if you're in marketing, right, what I feel is prioritized is actually your network. My boss said soft skills and hard skills. You need to have a bit of both.
When I came for interview, right, I was a bit chatty. I could express myself like how I really want this job. You know, nowadays testimonial is very important. Maybe this company read my previous company one and it was good because I did a very good job in my previous company. So I feel like in a way work experience means a lot. If they see my GPA now, right, they don't want me, I don't think they want me.
I didn't have any background in this industry. So I mean, I came from business background. I never fit into creative work. I was like a stylist before this.
How about I answer? Lol!
She interviewed me.
We had a few applicants. We wanted to branch into like fashion. That's why Leah's stylist experience actually helped. Leah also had like her own YouTube, her own Instagram.
Wow!
Your email when you apply is like you really show passion for the job, and you know even you don't want to have like a girl have very good degree but then go in and then treat work like a school ground like that, where it's like you are supposed to teach them how to do things.
So is the salary difference, do you think is very big? Or do you think it's possible to work your way up to be on the same level?
I'm quite jealous of friends who are earning more because they have a degree. I'm still confused whether it's possible to just like have a pay raise. I don't think it's possible lah, to be honest. It's not as easy.
Anything's possible. Of course, when you enter the job, you won't have that same amount of pay. If you really put your heart into it, right? By the time someone comes out of uni, you can somehow match their pay. At the same time, you have more experience. Ultimately, right, a degree or diploma is just a ticket. When you enter the company, right, it's still how you perform that ultimately matters.
Degree holders have it easier in that sense because for diploma holders, right, you work so hard through the 4 years to get the same pay. But people always like, I have a piece of paper, so I come in and I get this pay. You cannot pay anything less because the person already spent so much money getting the degree. It's very important to note that people who go straight into working after getting a diploma, a lot of times they don't really have a choice to get a degree. You have top like what 5% of your poly cohort to go in, right? And to a local U. You know, then some people cannot afford to take a degree. Like parents don't want to sponsor. I know so many people of my friends say like, I'm just gonna work because like my parents don't feel that they should sponsor a degree lah. So I think that's something that you should take note of also lor. For people who get a diploma and they go and work, maybe they're not as hardworking or like they're very complacent with what they have, right? They'll never be able to match up to someone with a degree.
I wanted to take a full-time degree because I just wanted to like focus on one thing, but I don't have the money for my degree. I also need the money to survive.
Yeah.
The best way is to work and then pay for it at the same time. When I first came out with a diploma, I wasn't happy with my salary. It was low. I do feel that you can work your way up. When you go for other jobs in the future, the pay will always increase. Yeah, unless you drop to a totally different sector. You got to sacrifice up. You can't have like the best of everything. If you want to do what you like and you want to experience, right, then you got to sacrifice the money first.
And then if you can give advice to people who are uncertain about whether they should take a gap year or maybe, you know, pursue their degree or continue working, don't rush.
Oh my gosh, I was about to say that.
When don't rush. If you need 1 more year, just do
It's been 2 years! How long do I have to wait?
experience what you need to experience. In terms of job, figure out what you really want to do, then pursue it.
There's a saying, find what you love, then learn how to make money out of it. I think everyone actually knows what you like or what you dislike from a very young age. Everyone has their own path really. So don't keep comparing like, oh, just because degree, just because she started working first, it really doesn't mean anything.
Today we actually talk about whether we should start working first and then getting a degree later.
Or whether we should get a degree right after graduating with a diploma.
If you guys have any opinions about this issue or you have any personal experience, you can feel free to leave it in the comments and let us know what else to talk about next time.
And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Bye!